Okay. Today we are going to study our topic about unemployment in AS level. So this is a topic which is both present in AS and A level. Like in A2 we are also having the same thing, but they are having further details of the same topic. So here we are talking about the basics of the concept of unemployment. So I gave you some lessons about the macroeconomic objectives of the country, like there is going to be economic growth, full employment, price stability, balance of payment equilibrium, and exchange rate stability. So if these objectives are not achieved by any government policy, so they will become the problem. So right now we are going to study or explain the problem of unemployment in the economy. So unemployment means what? These are the number of people of the working age of the labor force who are willing and able to work but could not find a paid job in a given time period. What it is? These are the number of people of the labor force who are willing and able to work but could not find the job. So first of all, we have to say what is these are the number of people of the labor force who are willing and able to work, willing and able to work but could not find a paid job, the paid job. Alright? In a given time period, like in 1 year. Yeah? In a given year. So this number can increase or decrease. Depends upon how many people are entering to the labor force and how many are getting employed within same year. If less people are entering to the labor force and more are getting employment, so this problem of unemployment is being resolved by itself, that job opportunities, they are taking some of them in their employments. Okay, and if more people are entering to the labor force rather they are getting employment, so this problem will be deepening in the economy and that will create more poverty. When people are not earning anything, they will not be able to fulfill their basic needs of life, and that is the main reason of poverty in the country. And when they become poor, there will be the other social crimes which will be merged. So what is the labor force actually? Labor force is what? Keeping in mind, we are not going to measure unemployment out of the total population of the country. We have to see out of the total population of the country how many are in the working age group. What is the working age group? Working age group, there is going to be, you can say 16 years to 60 years. In some of the countries it is starting from 16 years to 65 years. It depends upon the size of the population and their average life expectancy. And if a country is having higher average life expectancy, so they are increasing the retirement age, that 5 years extra a person should work. Now this age group is called the working age. So do you think all the male and female who are within this age group, they are part of the labor force? No. Some are getting higher education in the universities. Some of the females, although they are qualified, they become the housewives. They don't want to search out a paid job. So they are not looking for any paid job, so they are not going to be part of our labor force, although they are the part of the working age. So we need to address labor force, those who are actively seeking job, or sometimes workers, they are willing to do a job but they are not actively employed, so they are economically inactive. If they are willing to do a job but they are not employed, so although they are part of the labor force but they are economically inactive, until unless they get employed, then they become active. So within this age group, those who are willing and able to work, they will be the part of the labor force who are continuing their education, or those who are unemployed by their own will, by their own intention. They are not part of the labor force. They are not going to be create any type of problem for the country or sometime for the society. But the problem is that who are willing and able to work within the labor force, if they could not find the job, then this is the problem, macroeconomic problem. Now, below the age of 16 years, below 16 years, we have children. Their right is to get education. They have to complete their school education till the age of 16, and if they continue for high school and then to the university level, so we say they are not right now in the labor force, rather they are improving their education and skill level. And above 60 years, they are old age. What are these? They are old age. So in that case, we see both are the dependent part of population. They are dependent out of the population. Okay. So we see the labor force is divided into two parts. One is called employed, another is called unemployed. Okay. So these are the two parts of labor force. So what is the meaning of level of employment and level of unemployment? Actually, this is the number which is present in the labor force, either they are employed or unemployed. If I say the total labor force is 20 million of people out of the population, and out of them we see there is going to be 18 million which are employed, and remaining 2 million they are unemployed. So we say this is the level of employment and this is the level of unemployment. Clear? Now we are not going to measure the level of unemployment, but rather we will measure what? The rate of unemployment. How this unemployment is actually growing. Clear? So rate of unemployment, how to find the rate of unemployment? Because the comparison among the countries that can be made by using this statistic rather than the level, because level of unemployment or employment, they are different according to the population size of the country and the labor force. Now it is the number of unemployed divided by the labor force into 100. Like 2 million of 20 million into 100. So we get this 10% is their unemployment rate. Sometimes this unemployment rate may decrease. How? Even the number of unemployed remains same. If labor force size has increased, listen over here, please read that. These 2 million are unemployed, but labor force has increased from 20 million to 23, 24 million. So as denominator is increasing, unemployment rate is falling due to increase in labor force. But number of unemployed, that remains same. They are not getting jobs. Even this thing, the 2 million, because some of them, they were in employment, and more people, those who have entered, they remain. The total number does not change, or it changes by less rate than the labor force it is increasing. Overall, unemployment rate will decrease as labor force is increasing by faster rate, then the unemployment. So we say number has gone down. So basically we have to address more and more people should be coming to this pool of employment. Then a country will show us more economic growth, more economic progress. If people are left unemployed, an important resource of the country will not be fully utilized and there will be less economic growth. Clear? Now I want to tell you what is meant by flow of unemployment and stock of unemployment. Labor force size that depends upon school leaving age, number of people who remain in full-time education. Okay, the size of labor force it is written. How this size can change? If school leaving age is changed or retirement age is changed, labor force size will change. How many students who are continuing their education or they are going to stop education after doing their A-level? So if more students are going to university education, so less labor force will be available to do the job. Okay? And if more students are leaving their education to do a paid work, then labor force size will increase. At the same time, the number of people who remain, okay, the retirement age they said, proportion of women who join the labor force. If more women they are joining the labor force, the size of labor force will ultimately increase. These are the factors of labor force. Now, level and rate I describe. Stock of unemployment and flow of unemployment. What do we mean by stock unemployment and flow unemployment? Stock of unemployment. Stock unemployment. Stock unemployment. Okay. Stock means when we measure unemployment in a given time period. When time period is fixed, like in 1 year, in last fiscal year, how many people of the labor force were unemployed? What was their rate of unemployment? In other words, it is a static variable. Static means within fixed time period, if we are measuring unemployment or the rate of unemployment, then we say it is a stock unemployment. It's a stock variable. Now, another is flow unemployment. Flow of unemployment and flow unemployment. Now, over the period of time, if we measure unemployment, how the value or the number of unemployment is changing over the period of time, then we say it is flow unemployment. So, in other words, it is dynamic. For example, if we see what is the rate of unemployment in year 2021, this is 1 year. We specified a time period, so that is stock. And if we see what is the rate of unemployment in 2015, 2016, 2017, and so on, over the period of time, how this number is changing, whether it is increasing or decreasing, then we are analyzing the flow unemployment rather than stock unemployment. Clear? Now the rest of the topic is about how to measure unemployment and what are the causes and consequences of unemployment. So I think we can do the measurement of unemployment right now and we will do the rest of the things in our other lessons. How to measure unemployment. How to measure unemployment? There are two methods. How to measure unemployment. There are two methods. One is called claimant count, and another one I have already done, labor force survey method. Labor force survey method. Okay. What is claimant count the countries which are paying unemployment benefit to those who are out of job or out of work. So those who are out of work, they register themselves with the government that they are not having any paid job. So government will register them. They are claiming that they are unemployed. So government will pay them regular unemployment benefit as a transfer payment. So that is claimant count. Those who are claiming unemployment benefit from the government, their number can be easily measured if they are receiving this thing. Okay. So no extra cost will be incurred by the government to measure the level and rate of unemployment in this claimant count method. The problem of this method is that some workers, they are underemployed, they are part-time employed, but they are claiming unemployment benefit from the government. And some, those who are living in the remote areas, they are not informing to the government about their unemployment and they are not claiming anything, although they are involuntarily unemployed. Another thing which we want to say, that is some of the housewives, they are voluntarily unemployed but they are not claiming for this thing. So these are the problems. Another main problem is that we cannot make comparison among the countries about the level and rate of unemployment with those who are not paying this benefit. Like England is paying unemployment benefit, Sweden is paying, Switzerland is paying. So when their claimant count is showing that they have this number of unemployed or this is the rate of unemployment, and if we compare those statistics with India, Pakistan, where this benefit is not paid, comparison cannot be made. How many people are unemployed in a developing country where population size is high and they are not claiming, or government is not paying this type of unemployment benefit. So this claimant count method is not universal, it cannot be used, it is not used by every country. So a rate of unemployment cannot be measured by the developing countries by this method. Now the second method is labor force survey method. I explained earlier that first of all we measure how much is the population size of the country and how many people are present within this age group and how many are studying in the university education. They are not part of labor force, we exclude them right now, and those who are completing their education after the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they will be looking for the job. We exclude the housewives, but we will include those who have entered into the labor force and they are looking for the paid work. So this method of labor force survey method is adopted by all the countries because it is designed by ILO, International Labour Organization, and this is accepted by all the countries. So every country is measuring the rate of unemployment by the labor force survey method. Then the comparisons among the countries will also be made easily. So the problem of this method is that there can be the statistical data errors or data collected by the Ministry of Manpower can be outdated, or it is expensive to collect the data. We have to hire many workers to conduct a survey how many people are there in this age group and how many are employed and how many are completing their university education. So this is going to have a little bit complexity. That data should be updated, it should not be expensive too much to collect the data, and at the same time we need to know how many are going abroad and how many will be available to work after 2 weeks. So there can be the problems with this method, but that is more accurate for the countries to measure unemployment by using labor force survey method. So this is all about how we measure unemployment, and tomorrow we will be doing what? Causes of unemployment. There is a sampling error which I said the data errors. Now the causes and types of unemployment and then consequences we will do tomorrow. This chapter will be concluded inshallah, then we will move on to inflation in the coming week. ठीक है.